Hello and welcome to A Second Look Math. Today we're taking a second look at models for combining and taking away integers. Here we have on the screen a question that asks which model represents -5 combined with a +2. Now, before we get into the models, I want to think about exactly what is the answer to -5 combined with a +2. Here we have a negative and we're combining it with a positive. Now, I'm thinking about our integer rules, and our integer rules for combining say negatives combined with negatives make more negatives. Positives combined with positives make more positives. And then when we have a negative combined with a positive, we do an integer battle. So here we have our integer battle. We have negatives and positives. On the negative side, we have a -5. And on the positive side, we have 2. Now, it's obvious that we have more negatives, so the negatives are going to win. They're going to win by however many more people they have on their side. So we got to find the difference between the two sides. 5 minus 2 is 3. And so we can tell that they are going to win by 3, and that 3 is a negative because they have more people on their team. So right there, I'm going to circle it in a different color, is our answer, -3. So now that we have solved the problem, we can go about thinking about which model will represent -5 combined with a +2 equals a -3. Let's take a look zooming in at the first one of these representations. On this one, we have starting at 0 going down to -2. So we have a -2. Now we're going from -2 up. We're going how many spaces? Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. We're going in the positive direction, 5 spaces. So that's -2 plus 5, and that ends at 3. -2 plus a +5 is 3. The other way we can think about this problem is actually starting again down here at this -2. We have -2. And I can actually take away negatives to make it go in the positive direction. So I can take away a -5. Whoops, there's a -5. If I have -2 minus or take away a -5, it's the same idea of a keep it, flip it, change it. So we have -2 combined with a +5, keep it, flip it, change it. My 5s aren't coming out. There we go. And so, again, we're going to have a 3 because of this integer battle. So here we are ending on a +3. And we can see that right here where the drawing stops. And we know that we need to end on a -3 up here. So we can tell that this first one is not right. So I'm going to write no next to it. There we go. No. This is not right. And it represents both of these equations down here below, both of which equal 3. So let's go on to the next one, knowing that this one is no, and it represents either a -2 plus 5 or a -2 take away a -5, both of which end on a +3. So we're going ahead to the next one. This is now the next equation, and notice I've changed the question on these. I've said, does this model represent -5 combined with a +2? Well, let's see. We're starting here at 0, and we're going down -5. Okay, that's a good start. And then we're going to take that 5 and we're going to go from there up 1, 2. 1, 2. We're ending here at a negative 3. So I'm thinking about negative 5, combining that with 2 equals a negative 3. Ooh, that's kind of a yucky negative 3, but you get the idea. And that actually does look like it works. The other thing I can do here is I can take this and I can think about taking away a negative again. If I have negative 5, take away negative 2, that'll give me that same answer because I'm going to keep it, flip it, change it, and I'm going to get a negative 3 out of that as well. My negative sign's kind of crooked there. Negative 3 as well. So both of those will work, and one of them is definitely our problem, and it ends up at the right thing. So that's good. So here we have yes, and those are the two problems that make sense for it. Now we're going to have to go through the other ones just to make sure that these ones don't also in some way represent negative 5 plus a positive 2. So let's see the next one. Zoom in on it, and we have negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well, we're off to a good start here. Negative 5. And we're combining that with more negative direction, right? So negative 5, and we can either subtract 2, which is what's giving us that negative 7, negatives combined with negatives. The other thing that may be happening is we have, sorry, I said negatives combined with negatives. That's a negative 5, take away a positive 2, but we keep that, flip it, and change it, and that would be a negative 5 combined with a negative 2. There we go. And here we have negatives combined with negatives. So that's exactly what I was saying before. Negatives combined with negatives make more negatives, so this is a negative 7. Either way we write this, this is not a representation of negative 5 combined with a positive 2. So we're going to say no for that one. The last one is actually probably the most unique answer choice in that I can't even really tell what's happening here. We sort of have a 0 going to the negative 5, and we have a 0 going to a 2, but there's no chain of events here, one step then the other. We don't even know which one comes first, and what do we end on? We're not ending on that negative 3 that we know up here in our problem we have to end on. Instead, we're ending on a negative 5 and we're ending on a positive 2, which neither one of those quite makes sense for the problem we're trying to represent. So, now that we've gone down through these steps, I've noted here the last answer choice. If you take a look here, I've said no, the arrows are not connected. We're not taking one step then the other. These first ones at least make sense. I'm going this way, and then I'm going to go this way. But I end on a positive 3, so that's no good. This one, number 2, I'm going down to negative 5, and then I'm coming back positive 2. So that's good. I'm also ending on negative 3, which says I'm definitely modeling this correctly. The next one I'm doing a negative, and I'm either taking away a positive or I'm combining that with more negatives, but at any rate I'm ending here on a negative 7, which is no good. And then the last one, as we've discussed, the arrows are not connected. So this is how you can check to see which model represents an integer problem, whether that's combining integers or taking away integers. Simply go step by step through each and analyze based on what you know is the answer in the problem. And that is a second look at models for combining and taking away integers.